Hey guys, Sarge here. I recently sent up a poll on my Instagram page asking for what kind of video would you guys like to see coming up on this YouTube channel. And a lot of people said they wanted to know what is the best carry gun. And this is normally a question that is always asked, and it's not really ever answered correctly in my mindset for it at least. A lot of people either tell you to go too small or too big for everyday carry gun, and that can be dangerous. If you go too small with an everyday carry gun, it can negatively affect your personal opinion when it comes to wanting to carry. And the main part of carrying a gun is always carrying your gun. So just think about it with that mindset. Is what gun do I always want to carry, and what gun do I always want to shoot? Because what we don't want to do is buy a gun that's great to carry but isn't that great to shoot. So think about that. Do we want to have a gun that is great to carry, but when we need to actually use it, it is the worst gun out there to use in a real life situation? Or would we rather have a gun that maybe is a little bit uncomfortable to carry? However, when a real life situation takes place, we are so happy that we have that 10, 15, 17 round magazine in that situation. And we have a gun that has proven reliability in that situation, and we don't have to worry about, is my gun going to work? Remember guys, carrying a gun is supposed to be comforting, not comfortable. And that's a key factor a lot of people forget. Now, how do we select a gun? For me, what I do, any pistol, because I don't have any pistols for sport or for fun or anything like that. All mine have a defensive purpose. So, what I do is all my pistols have to pass a 1,000 round full metal jacket and hollow point test. Makes it through 1,000 rounds without a single malfunction of any kind. And I understand ammunition can have a malfunction. That is no knock on the gun at all. I completely understand that. However, I feed my pistols quality ammunition, so that factor really shouldn't play that much of a role in only 1,000 rounds. But I do go ahead and think about that as well. So 1,000 rounds, no issues. Not too hard to ask. Well, the problem is in today's concealed carry world, we have a lot of people that don't want to run 1,000 rounds to their carry guns. Think about that. You're carrying a gun, but you don't want to shoot it. Well, what do you want to do with it then? That's like having a car just to sit out in a driveway because you don't ever want to drive it. That's like having your cell phone just sitting in your pocket because you don't ever want to use it. Is that the right mindset we should have? Trust me, the gun was made to be shot. So shoot it. What we don't want to have are individuals that are really good at carrying the guns but aren't that great at shooting the guns. So how do we make ourselves good at shooting the guns? We need to set realistic standards for ourselves. We need to identify what I call the max effective range. We need to know, where am I most effective at, and how can I apply that in every situation I enter. So if at 10 yards, that's where you're most effective, because when you go past 10 yards, man, you just start losing that accuracy. Then hone it in at 10 yards. At 10 yards, try to get 2-inch groups. If you can't get 2-inch groups standing still on paper at 10 yards, then scoot closer until you can. Now, once you start implementing movement, that doesn't mean that we can go from 2-inch groups to shooting bird shot out of a shotgun. That's not what that means. However, I completely understand that there's going to be some spread, in a sense, when you start moving and implementing your shooting techniques. I completely understand that. But we need to be trained in the aspect of realistic situations that could take place and what your current capabilities are. What you don't want to do is think that, oh, I can make 25-yard headshots, and you can't. So, a good test, take your carry pistols out, go to 7 to 10 yards, and try to hold 2-inch groups. If you can't do it, then scoot closer until you can. But we need to set those goals, and we need to hold ourselves accountable and really look at ourselves and say, hey, man, I'm shooting all over the place. I need to figure out what's wrong. If you're aiming at a specific part of the target and you aren't hitting it, that's not okay. So figure out why you're not hitting where you're aiming at. Training is a great aspect to do that. It'll show you a lot of things about yourselves that maybe you weren't seeing on your own end. So go seek out a competent instructor. He'll show you, he or she will show you what's going right and what's going wrong. That way we don't have to make mistakes during game time situations. Also, stop changing your carry guns in and out. Stop rotating 100 different guns through it. Stay consistent with what you're carrying. If you're consistent with what you carry, then you don't have to run through different things in your head with, oh, I'm carrying a revolver today instead of my Glock, so I need to remember X, Y, or Z. Or I'm carrying a 1911 today instead of my Glock, so I need to do X, Y, or Z. I absolutely understand owning different guns. I own several. However, here recently, I've made it a point to stay consistent with what I carry. That's all it is. Carry consistently and stay consistent with what it is. And if you do that, we're going to have a recipe for success in the everyday carry compartment if a game time situation were to occur. So, what did we learn? Shoot your gun, carry your gun, and if you need to go seek out training on how to properly ensure that our max effective range is more than a foot, then go and do so. But make sure it's worth your time, your money, and your effort that you're going to be putting into it. And please, guys, do not go out there and try to get a Blaster 4000 off Palmetto State Armory for $2.07 because it was a great deal. Quit looking at great deals and really think about how much is my life worth. Is my life worth this $2 gun, or is it worth maybe spending a little bit more so that way I know I have quality and reliability? Look at what guns don't break in training courses. That's a great way to see if your gear is going to work or not. Take it through training. That's as close as we're going to get to real life scenarios. So go ahead and run through it, guys. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know if you guys have any specific reliability tests you do with your carry guns. And my choice of carry gun, as you guys could probably tell, it's a Glock. And I don't mean that in the sense of specifically it's always a Glock, but it's a Glock-like pistol. Striker fired, no manual safety on it. The only gun that I will run without that does have a manual safety is a 1911, but I haven't been doing that here recently, guys. I've been staying pretty consistent with, I'm just going to run a Glock because I'm trying to stay consistent with consistently carrying. And I'm not changing out in rotations and carrying 4 or 5 different things. So my choice is a Glock, Glock 45 MOS. I'm getting ready to throw a red dot on it. I'm going to do a whole series on that for you guys, showing you different red dot variants that we have. So stay tuned for more, guys. Let me know what you guys want to see out of this channel, and I'll try to put that together for you guys. And as always, Sarge out.